You're listening to Beyond Orders, a podcast about military spouses who are done shrinking themselves to fit someone else's story. Hosted by Michelle Penzak, CEO of Squared Away.
Thank you for joining us today on Beyond Orders. And today we have Taylor Lingerfelt. Taylor is one of our absolutely incredible team leads here at Squared Away. She's a rock star mom of two and a proud active duty Army spouse. She came on board with us in 2021, back when she was home with her kids and looking to reconnect with her own identity, something so many of us can relate to. Since then, she's worn just about every hat we could hand her, growing into a leader who leads with heart, lifts up everyone around her, and somehow still finds the joy in the beauty of the chaos of military life. Taylor is the kind of teammate who makes you want to bring your best every single day. So let's get into it. Taylor, thank you so much for joining me. Oh my goodness, I feel like we've had everybody from that has had buyouts and our core leadership team, and I'm like, man, I really cannot wait for, just teammates to come on board and start talking with us. So I am super excited to have you. So let's dig in. Who was the Taylor before the military entered the chat? Like, how have you evolved since then? I feel like we're totally different humans once the military comes in.
100%. I was a very young college student trying to get through life and holding it all together by a thread, trying to work tightly to plans that I didn't know would fail at the time and getting through life. My husband and I did long distance. He joined the Army right after high school graduation, and I started college. So we went kind of separate ways for a little bit and did long distance. But since fully becoming a military spouse, we've learned that change is constant in the Army or just in military life in general. It is constantly changing. There's so much uncertainty and everything else. And I feel like I've matured in a lot more ways than I ever thought that I could. But also I've learned how to adapt to the change and get comfortable in the uncertainty that's coming my way. I feel like I've built a level of resilience that I never knew was humanly possible to have. And I feel like most military spouses can agree to that. You feel as if you're not resilient, and then all of a sudden the military just throws everything your way and life just comes crashing down.
That's definitely in our marriage vows somewhere. I'm fully convinced.
It has to be. But no, I've definitely changed a lot since then, and I feel like I can trust myself a lot more to sit in the unknown and be able to get prepared for the unknown. We're in the middle of a PCS move right now, and change has come in so many different ways, and so many different things have happened. So just being able to lean on the years that I've had of preparation for this and getting to a point of it's okay, it's all gonna come to an end, and we're gonna get out of this season at some point. It's good to know, and we see the light at the end of the tunnel, so we're working on it.
Yeah. PCSs are they're like the Super Bowl of military spouse life. And
Yes.
You're like, how do I perform for this effectively so that I don't lose my mind and my life is as minimal chaos as absolutely possible. I mean, our last one, I was like, can I just plant myself here forever? Because I never want to move again.
Yes.
So in all that chaos and crazy, what led you to Squared Away?
Oh my goodness. I was a stay-at-home mom of two very young kids. I just had my son probably 6 months prior to my application to Squared Away. And I started kind of feeling I wasn't myself. I lost myself in an identity crisis of being a stay-at-home mom with two very young children. And we were living off of one income for a long time. And I told my husband after a mental breakdown for the 1000th time that I didn't feel like me. I didn't know who I was, and I wanted to be able to be that person. And so I started going through and looking for remote jobs that I could handle and things that I could do. And I found Squared Away on Facebook in a Facebook group at the time. And I read that it supported military spouses, and I got so excited. I put in my application right away, and through my first interview, I felt like I was where I needed to be, and I had a lot of confidence in it. I was more confident about that interview than I had ever been. And then I had my interview with you, Michelle, and we were on the phone for way longer than we were supposed to be during that interview, just chatting about military life and my kids screaming in the background, and we just had so much conversation, and I felt like something it just clicked. It was the right moment. And when the job letter and the job offer came through, it felt like the fog had lifted. I sat on my couch and I cried with joy and excitement to be able to feel like I could contribute financially, and I felt independent, but most importantly, I felt like I could be a better mom. Not because I was home all day with the kids and being able to be there, but because I felt whole again. I finally started feeling like me. It squared away for me didn't just give me a job, but it helped me remember who I am. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry, but it helped me.
Making me cry right now.
But it,
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, but it
No.
made me it made me remember who I am as a person, and it let me know that I am still an individual outside of motherhood, and my kids have gotten the best version of myself, and I'm still continuing to grow through the amazing channels and clients that I've had with Squared Away, and I'm excited to keep learning who I am with this company.
Oh man, I wish I could put into words how amazing that is, because when we launched Squared Away, that was every emotion I had in my body. I remember before starting to work with virtual in 2013, feeling of I don't feel like I'm myself. I'm my best when I'm helping others and when I'm doing something that I'm truly passionate about. And I did the same thing you did when they hired me. I sat down. I'll never forget it. I sat down in the middle of my dining room floor and started crying. My cat was wondering what was wrong with me because we didn't have the boys at that time. And I was just like, man, somebody is taking a chance on me. This is the best feeling in the world. And I'm going to show up for them. That piece has been, honestly, it's been hard to put into words over the years, just how incredible it is when somebody says, you know what, you're more than what society says you are. You're more than a military spouse. You're more than a stay-at-home mom, and you can give so much to our company. Please come on board. And honestly, your story, I've heard it in various ways over the past 8 years. Hard to believe it's been 8 years. But it still comes back to finding ourselves, what gives us purpose, and what can I teach my kids? I mean, your kids have pretty much grown up with Squared Away in a lot of ways, and my boys have grown up with Squared Away, and I think it teaches them compassion in a lot of ways, and it teaches them, you are more than what people say you are.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree. My children love my clients, and I have been so blessed through Squared Away's connections and everything else. Our connections department is phenomenal. I praise them every time I can, but I have clients who know them by name and will ask about them on our phone calls. And now that I have both kids in school, I have a kindergartner and a pre-K now, which is heart-wrenching to say out loud. But now that they're not on my calls every single day or every week, my clients are like, "Oh my gosh, how are the kids doing? I can't wait to see them when they have a break." And it's heartwarming because I always felt like my personal life had to be different than my personal, or my professional had to be different than my personal. And it was very hard to feel like I had to separate that out, but now I don't have to. They know my kids' birthdays. My clients have told my kids happy birthday, and it's a phenomenal feeling to feel like I'm in a place of where I matter, my work matters, but my family also matters. And
Absolutely.
and Squared Away has also given us that stability of being a military spouse. You lose yourself in the identity of every single move, every single deployment every time they go on the field, and I lost myself in the middle of all of that, and being able to have something constant with Squared Away felt nice. Even though my husband was gone for 2 weeks in field events and trainings, I still had my clients and Squared Away to lean on to bring me some type of stability, and my kids knew, "Mommy has a meeting with Mr. Ryan, and we can't wait to meet him," and it was something they looked forward to as well because he's always made them feel welcome in our calls, and it's phenomenal, and I've been very blessed to be where I am today.
I think that speaks to the level of clients that we work with and how, you know, we we look for the people who are compassionate and who are understanding and, you know, we have a policy, everybody knows we don't work with assholes.
Absolutely.
We want the genuine humans that understand it's not the 1995 cookie cutter business professional world. Life happens whether you acknowledge it or not, and being compassionate and understanding is something that I love about our clients. I've said for years, you know, it's so funny because we become a part of their family and they become a part of ours. And I have clients that I worked with years ago that, you know, first day of school, we're always messaging each other like, "Did you survive? I barely did. Did you?" But it's great because they've watched our families grow up and we've watched theirs grow as well. And it's so cool when you have such a great relationship like that. And I have to pat ourselves on the back because we are not, you know, how do I say this? We are not, you know, an AI agent. We are not an overseas company that is missing cultural marks. Like, we get it in every shape and form. We get it. If you've got crazy, trust me, you know, hold my drink real quick. We've got crazy too. You know, I don't think anything throws up throws us off, and you know, we don't get spooked. Very rarely do we get spooked. Um, but I just I love it so much, and I love having you guys as a testament to military spouses just being complete badasses. So, as a team lead, you get to influence other assistants and, you know, basically rip off the Band-Aid for brand new teammates that are coming in and fielding questions and being a resource for them. What is that like for you?
Oh my goodness. I've always been a people person. I don't know what it is, but I've always been drawn to people. And when I tell you, I'm gonna toot my own horn, but my team is phenomenal. I have a team full of amazing women, as I'm sure most other team leads would agree with me. Amazing people who are kicking ass on the daily basis. To me, just being there and being a part of it and being someone that they can confide in their lowest moments or the hardest times, it's a blessing. And my team always comes to me with the most random stuff sometimes, but it's phenomenal. Like we've started having weekly working sessions to where we'll just sit on a call for an hour and a half with a few teammates and we'll just talk about life and everything else while we're working on our client work. And it's become an inclusive environment of where we can all just come together and it doesn't feel pressured. It doesn't feel like we are having to keep an agenda. And to me, just being that person that they come to is just absolutely astonishing. I never seen myself I wanted to be in this position for many years and I have a very long story about that one. I applied to the team lead role a handful of times and I didn't get it most of the time. And I was very sad about it, but I kept telling myself, God's telling me it's not my time. It's not my time yet. My last time I applied, I didn't even tell my husband that I had applied. And I went into the interview. I took the interview on my birthday while I was supposed to be off work. And my husband had no idea. He took the kids to go buy me a birthday present, and I took my interview really quickly while they were gone. And I felt really good about it. And then a couple days later, up to maybe a week later, I got the offer of becoming a team lead as I was walking into my daughter's school. And my little girl was the first person that I told that I'd got the team. She went running down the school hallway. My promotion, my mommy got it. And she was so excited. But from that moment, I've felt I'm exactly where I need to be. I sit in my chair and I do not take it for granted because this team that I have, they come to me and they trust me, and I'm very blessed to be here. But being that person for them feels phenomenal. And sometimes it's scary because they come to me with things I don't know how to handle. And I'm like, oh no, what do we do? What do we do? And I have to rattle things off my brain, or, ask our friendly chat GPT for ideas just to get through something. But to me, it's like no other.
I love that. And I will say, I believe everything happens in God's time. And it might not be right now, but it might be right later. And I just want to tell everybody that we do something called pillar nominations. Pillar nominations are internal shout outs essentially to our team about who is embodying what pillar, whether it's thinking outside the box, extreme attention to detail, over communication, being a team player. And I have every single one on my computer from the time that you became a team lead. And some of them are just incredible. So I want to remind you of a few, Taylor. Taylor goes above and beyond as a team lead. She creates opportunities for new team members to grow and learn, and she's always a space to share any struggles, challenges we may be facing. Very grateful for her. It's really hard to choose just one pillar for Taylor. She embodies them all effortlessly, but I really wanted to shout out the amazing job she does, and especially on the most recent team lead teaching call. You're not just a source of strength and helpfulness for teammates, but you are also teaching your fellow team leads and other assistants that aren't on your team at Squared Away how to do things better and how to be better. And that's one thing that we really have tried to foster over the years is we don't want you to just work here and support your clients and not grow. We want you to grow in your career, and we want to build a team of leaders, not followers. I think you've heard me say that 3 million times at this point, but that's exactly what you're doing. When you can come into a role where you are just, man, I'm so grateful to be here. This is amazing. Like, thank you for taking a chance on me. And then you build that confidence, and then you can give it to somebody else and kind of pass the torch. I can't think of a better role to be in, honestly, than just building people up in that way.
I appreciate that, and I have to shout out one of our newest team leads. She came directly from my team, and the entire way through the application, she was giving me so much amazing feedback and just thanking me for everything. But the funny thing is like I have a hand in them, but the ones that are go-getters are gonna be the go-getters, and they're gonna put their effort in, and you you can only foster that type to a certain point. And but I love it because you look at Squared Away's team and you look at the amazing team that we have. We have an amazing team of people who are there to back everybody. They're there to take it, and I just I appreciate you saying all that. You've got me over here in tears because I I'm just so in love with being this person, and I'm in love with being that person for people, and it melts my heart.
I think that's one thing that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it shocks people, especially new teammates that are coming on board. They're like, is this a trick? Are you guys really just, like, what are you going to do to me on a back alley type deal? But you're putting on, this great, you know, support up front. Like, what's the catch? Everybody's like, what's the catch to Squared Away?
Yeah,
And I'm like, there is no catch. Like, what you
no,
see is what you get,
mhm.
100%.
Absolutely. I had a teammate ask me that. She was like, "What's the catch?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What catch? I have nothing else for you. It's all been laid out." And she was like, I feel calm. I've never felt calm in a workplace." And I'm like, "That's amazing. I'm so happy we could foster that for you." So it's amazing. And I'm here to I cheer straight away on from the rooftops every chance I get because we foster these amazing relationships with people and client relationships. Michelle, I have to congratulate you because you've built an amazing company and I love it.
I have not done it alone by any stretch of the word, but there have definitely been moments where there's been challenges. And I mean, you've been here with us for almost 5 years, and we've had our challenges, we've had our struggles, but I think integrity and taking care of people have been our North Star since day one. We don't blow smoke. We're going to tell you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And if you're still here through that dumpster fire, because there are definitely dumpster fire days, you're one of us. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, which let's be real, what job is rainbows and butterflies 24/7? But I've always said I don't want my team to wake up in the morning and dread logging on. And I mean, there have definitely been days where I'm like, I don't want to check my email right now. But again, we all have those days. um, but it's so worth it because I mean, we've did several transitions. We've gone from, a hybrid model or a W-2 model to independent contractor hybrid. We've had to add things and we've had to remove things because we are a bootstrap company. We're not funded by Elon Musk. I mean, that would be nice. So shout out to Elon if you want to fund us. But the goal was always to not be around for 2 or 3 years. The goal is to be around long term, as long as possible. And we made it to 8 years. We're 8 years this year, and holy cow, it's mind boggling. And I did the math the other day. We've hired and worked with over 1,600 military spouses in the last 8 years.
That's
And
phenomenal.
my husband likes to joke that I only wanted 30 in the beginning. And I was like, well, we passed 30 the first year. So there's that. Um, but I think it's so wonderful. We have such an amazing unspoken community of so many just get shit doners that I think a lot of companies are sleeping on in a lot of ways.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you had something to say to clients and military spouses or potential clients and military spouses, what advice would you give them if they wanted to work with Squared Away or were considering working with Squared Away?
I'd say do it. My first phrase would be do it. Don't hesitate on it. Get it out there. We have such an amazing team and diverse team of people who have so many different talents, so many different abilities. And if you're worried about a military spouse being one of them, you come to the right place because we can definitely handle a lot. It's one of those things of hold my cup, I got this. We know how to take the steering wheel and we know how to jump in when things get hard. We know how to find it. And it's not just military spouses, it's also all of the moms that we have here too. We have moms who are single parents just who just needed something to also be home with their kids. You want someone who can multitask, who can time manage, who can prioritize and organize things. Those are all characteristics of a mom and a military spouse. So when it comes down to it, if you are on the edge of being like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, my answer is just do it. Put it out there. See who you get. See who comes your way because I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be an amazing person who can do an amazing job.
Oh yeah, and I I look at all the hesitation questions, and you've worked with our connections team before. We've seen the hesitations. She has kids at home, or she's PCSing, or what if she goes on family leave or something like that? Like all the what ifs for a non-traditional day. How would you explain that to a client?
The what ifs is we have policies to back those up. Your assistant is PCSing and they want to take time off so that they can get their home settled and get themselves settled. We have people who can cover them, and your assistant will help train them into this point of to where they can proactively cover you for the time off that they're going to be there. And when your original assistant gets to their next duty station and they're settled, they're coming in with a fresh new outlook on life. They're coming in with a full cup. They might be a little exhausted, but they're coming in to serve you with a full cup. So and when it comes to the what if of, well, I don't know about the kids at home, why not? What what is stopping you from taking on a mom that has kids at home? Because most of the time when meetings happen, moms are most likely going to try to find something to entertain their children, or they're going to try to plan it around their nap time so that they can give you their undivided attention and be that rock that you need. My question back is, what's hesitant about having children at home? What causes that hesitation in any way? Because for me, yes, it's hard to sit down and focus. I have a 5 and a 4-year-old, and it is very hard to focus some days. But at the same time, I get my best work when I'm getting snuggles. I put in my best project hours when I'm sitting on the couch watching Bluey on the television. So at what point is having a mom or having kids in the house a concern? Unless you need them on meetings all day long. That's something that can be discussed though, you know? There's always options around it.
And I will say, I cannot agree more. One of the best projects that I worked on, I think it was last year, my then 5-year-old was very curious about fingernail polish. So we sat literally in my bathroom floor and he painted my toenails while I was working on this project. It was not beautiful, I will say, but he was so proud of himself. And my project was done and he had a ball. Win-win. I I would love for us to like show actual pictures of what goes on behind closed doors, but we can make anything happen anytime. And I think that's what separates us from the rest is, you know what? You're probably going to get stuff done and it comes with humor and
Absolutely. I
satire.
I have a toddler salon happening at least twice a week while I'm working on projects. I will have my daughter standing behind me trying to braid my hair when in reality she's just nodding it. But my projects are done. My tasks are complete.
Exactly. What, I mean, we love systems, processes, boundaries, you name it, internally. What is one of those that work best for you and changed how you function throughout the day?
My favorite squared away process or boundary that we have is the 1 hour response time. And the reasoning for that is when I got into this position, I started out with one client for like 3 weeks and then I started ramping up. Every time a client texted me at that time, it felt like a fire that I needed to tend to immediately. But once I ramped up to 5 clients, because my first year I was up to 5 clients and I sat there for a long time, I started realizing that if I answered every single text message within 5 minutes, I was causing more stress and more anxiety on myself. I wasn't being able to focus. I wasn't able to get my stuff done. So for me, that 1 hour response time boundary, it it felt like a relief. It I started realizing that it was permission for me to sit there and let my client wait a minute. It was permission for me to not respond immediately and to stop thinking of everything as it was a fire. So when it came down to it, that boundaries really taught me a place of calm rather than sitting in the chaos. And not only has it done that, but it's also taught me wonders and it's helped my mental space a lot better to instead of going to stress automatically, it's like, oh, okay, he just needs the invite updated for tomorrow. That can wait 15 minutes and I'll get to him when I get to it.
I have to say that is one of my most favorite boundaries because when I launched my solo virtual assistant career in 2015, I struggled in a lot of ways. I was the person that was responding within 5 minutes. I was the person that was taking calls during bath time, and it was stressful, immensely stressful. I had one client who apparently always knew when I was going to the grocery store. So he would always send me a task, and I'm like, I've got 45 minutes and I promise I'll work on it. Um, but it adds stress when you're like, oh gosh, I have to do this right now. It gives you a moment to breathe. And I've told you guys this for a long time, but most of our processes and procedures have my name behind it because I did it to myself
Mhm.
inadvertently when I first started. And I wanted to protect you guys from the things that were stressful. The 1 hour response time, the 3 hour completion. It doesn't have to be done in an hour. Go give your kids lunch and then handle them and then come back. And, you're not working at 9 o'clock at night unless you've opted in to work at 9 o'clock at night. You don't have to do that. That family time is protected. You don't have to
Mhm.
cancel a dinner reservation during, bubble time at 8 o'clock at night. It it gives you permission to have a balance, or if not a balance, at least some type of harmony, because some days your kids need you more, some days your clients need you more. It's a harmony day to day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel it's also helped me in my team lead role because it helps my team find the things that they're looking for, and because they'll panic and they'll be like, Taylor, I can't find this, and I'll just let it sit for about 45 minutes, and then all of a sudden I'll get a message back, oh hey, I actually found it, and I'm like, look at you go, way to use our resources. So it's also
Yeah.
helped me teach them. It's helped me kind of teach them how to find their own stuff and kind of figure out their own things. It also gives them time to think before I come back. It gives them time to find their own solutions and their own ways. That way, when I do come back, we can have a more uh, ideal discussion instead of me feeling like I'm coaching them through the steps on how to do things. So it's definitely saved my mental health.
I will say that's one thing. I started practicing it with my kids. Like, I'm going to make you wait a second. And then if
Mhm.
they get too impatient, they'll go find it themselves. And suddenly mom doesn't have to come to the rescue for everything. And it empowers them to do something on their own, whether it's at home, work, or whatever, just taking the initiative there.
Absolutely.
Um, so I have a final question for you that I make everybody answer. It's my new favorite question. Look out, clients. They're going to come for you at some point. What does reinvention mean to you after almost 5 years with us?
Absolutely. I have heard this question on every single podcast because I've listened to every single one. And I have to say, I'm in love with it as well. So I've been thinking about mine for a couple of days now. And to me, reinvention means giving yourself permission to grow beyond what life has handed you. And I come at this from a military spouse and mom of two perspective. I've spent years trying to keep things afloat through all of the change and unpredictability that is thrown our way. Joining Squared Away has given me a space to rediscover myself. And I've started as a virtual assistant, slowly building up my confidence and learning from every client, every no that was given to me along my way. And once I finally got into my team lead role, I really felt the reinvention start seeping in. And to me, it's not about avoiding who you've been in the past. Instead, it's about honoring who you've been. It's your grit, your scars, it's your story, and it's refusing to stay stuck in one space. It's not about becoming who you're not supposed to be or becoming somebody else. It's truly about becoming more fully yourself and identifying with who you feel proud of and confident in. And you've you've got to find those things that make you happy, and you just got to grow in them, and you've got to keep pushing yourself. Never stop learning is something that I was told when I started in this company, and it's something I've never stopped listening to. I've grown with every client I've had, and it's been phenomenal. So reinvention to me is becoming more fully yourself and finding the person that you're meant to be in life and the place that you're meant to be.
Man, we have got to change reinvention to our company motto in some capacity. I love it so much. It's to your point, it's honoring who you were in the past, but having permission to be something new and somebody new. And that's it. Like you could reinvent yourself at every hour if you had that kind of time. Like it's just making a decision to move forward in a different way. And I love that so much. Well, shout out to Taylor's team for giving her to me on a Friday afternoon for an hour. Appreciate you. And I'm just so thankful that you have been with us for so long, Taylor, and you have embodied everything that I ever hoped for this company. And I just want to say thank you for trusting us over the years, even when some decisions were not fun, trust me. And it was hard, but we worked together to get through it. And I appreciate you trusting us over the
I,
years.
I appreciate you for putting faith in me and being able to be who I am today and giving me the chances. I look forward to my continued time with Squared Way and hopefully my growth at some point down the line. But I am very blessed to be here, and I appreciate you too. And I appreciate you having the time to take me on the podcast. Shout out Hocus Focus team. We love them.
I have all the time for our team. This is the best part of my week is being able to sit down and have a conversation with our people. Like that is truly something I've loved doing. All right, military spouses and Squared Away teammates, here's your chance for Michelle Hour on a podcast and sharing your story and just shouting from the rooftops how amazing y'all are. But Taylor, it has been a true pleasure. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And thank you all for joining us and tune in to Beyond Orders next week. Have a good one, y'all.